Hey, Amy here, back again, Beauty Business Unfiltered. So, here I am again without my sidekick. But we are getting together next week, so we will record loads of answers because I have tons of questions. Now, I know that Katie specialises a lot on mindset, but predominantly like business, getting off the salon floor, getting out of the treatment rooms. Like, that is her superpower. But mine is franchise. And I can talk all day long about franchise. I absolutely bloody love it. I love everything about franchise, purely because I love what it's done for my brand. And when it's done right, it's absolutely brilliant. It's such a great way of scaling and growing a business without having the operational burden of growing by owning your own company sites. Now, I've got 2 of my own salons and I absolutely love them. Nobody will ever run a business like somebody that owns it. And you can have the best managers in the world. I was one of the best managers that Center Parcs would have ever hired. Just putting it out there. Like, I ran that spa like it was my own, like my life depended on it. However, if I owned it, what would I have done different? And I think there's an element of marketing, but also like when you make decisions, you'll make decisions on the business. The money is coming out of your pocket, you know, when it's your company owned business. And the same goes with franchise. So what is incredible with franchise is that people can grow their brand, grow the number of sites that they have by allowing people to use their brand, but also operate under their brand. You just teach them everything they need to know. By the time you get to franchise, you will more than likely have lots of strict processes and protocols and policies, all the P's in place. And you should do, if you're looking to scale, whether it's company owned or whether it's franchise, you should have all of those things in place anyway. The difference is when you franchise, someone is paying you to use all of those. Now, I get quite a lot of the time, I say a lot of the time, I probably get asked like twice a month, how do I franchise my brand? And actually, I've currently started the Goldman Sachs 10,000 Small Business Program, which is phenomenal. And it's a great way of learning how to scale your business, right? And there's so many business owners in there that as soon as I said, like, we've got 72 entrepreneurs and founders within this program. And as soon as I spoke up and said about my brand and what I do, as soon as I mentioned franchise, you can see people's ears prick up, because there's a lot of people that have like company owned sites or business models that are so franchisable. You know, when you see someone, you're like, people ask, don't they, is this a franchise? And I used to get that all the time, because people don't also understand the difference a lot of the time between a chain, which is company owned, and a franchise. Franchise is not company owned, it is the franchise territory is sold. So people will ask if it's a franchise when actually it's a chain. They just mean that there's more than one of them. It's a regular, like, you can see it, you know, you understand the brand. I want Mooeys to be a household name. I want it to be in every market town in the UK, and then I want to take it internationally. That burden of running that on my own is huge. And actually, I absolutely love that I can allow other people to have their own businesses and be their own bosses under my brand. Absolutely love it. So yeah, if you know, when you see a brand or a shop or something, we've got one near me called the Arc, and every time I look at it, I'm like, oh God, that needs to be franchised. It's so cool. It's such a great shop, such a great model. It needs to be on high streets everywhere, and it's naughty and cheeky and brilliant, and the mums love it. There's loads of companies you can think of that are company owned or that are scaling that should be franchised. And also, what I love about franchise is I think there's so many people, especially in the beauty industry, that start up a business and it doesn't work because they don't have the business knowledge, or they don't have, they might be the best therapist ever, but actually they don't have any financial experience, or they haven't managed teams, or they haven't managed multi-sites, things like that. Which is why I was adamant before I set up my own business that I would learn everything with everybody else's money first. I worked in every type of job that I could possibly need for when I had my own company. And with franchise, I could pass that knowledge on to allow them to be more successful. And if you have made a success of your business, your brand, then I think it's a really great offering to people in our industry to just buy a franchise. Like, it makes so much more sense. And I just wish people would do it. I want more beauty salons, more aesthetics clinics. I want more like franchises, because I think that our industry will be a lot more successful with them, because they'll have the backing and the support of the franchise owner who's been there and done that. It's like having a mentor or a coach in your pocket permanently. And yes, you pay for it like you would any other mentor or coach, but you're also getting the tools given to you and all the training and all of the staff recruitment. You're getting everything. It just makes so much more sense than setting up a salon on your own, waiting for the clients to come in, not knowing how to launch, not knowing how to scale, not knowing how to market, not knowing how to set up your booking system. Like, the beauty of a franchise, all that pain is taken away, and it's just given to you. And like, if you go somewhere like America, Canada, South Africa, like, most of the time they wouldn't actually set up on their own unless they're setting it up as a franchise. They want to grow it to a franchise. Most people, if they just want one salon, would just buy a franchise, because it's a lot easier and quicker to route to success than not. So how do I franchise my beauty business is the question I get. Actually, I get, how do I franchise my business? I get that loads. And there's, firstly, you need to make sure that you have a trade-in history. You don't have to have a proven concept, but it's really good to have a proven concept. It's easier to sell. So I had my own 2 salons, and I use the actual figures from my salons in any communication with new franchisees or potential franchisees. And I'm really comfortable doing that. I've got nothing to hide. I will show them what good profit looks like and what bad profit looks like. So we have like a low, medium and high average. I will show them actual figures from the salons, the franchise salons as well, so that they know what they're getting into. And I'm not lying. But if you don't have a proven concept, you're just assuming you know how successful it's going to be. So you need to know that it works. Now, if you don't have a proven concept, then some people will do a pilot scheme where they will sell the franchise, and that franchise is the pilot. But it does work, but you would normally have to sell it at a heavily discounted rate to show that it worked. My first franchise I sold for half price. So even though I had 2 of my own, first of all, I then sold my first one half price, just to get the concept out there as a franchise. And I kind of used her as like a test model, and she did me. She knew that when we signed up with each other, she was getting it half price because it was the first one, and it's quite risky. And you learn all the time. You learn from each other. You need to make sure it's profitable. Your business has to be profitable for it to work, for you to be able to sell that franchise. Is it profitable for them? If you've done a business budget forecast, if you took out your management fee, so ours is 5% of net revenue, which is quite low, but the margins in the beauty industry are quite low. So I want people to succeed. I don't want to be just taking all their profit. If you take that management fee and you deduct it off what their proposed profit is, are they still making any money? Because they're going to be in business to make money. They're not just doing it for a hobby. They need to make money. So have you got a proven concept? Is it profitable? And have you got your trademark sorted? Because you can't sell a franchise unless you've got a trademarked business, because anyone could just come along and set up a business. That's what they're paying for. They are paying for the security and safety that you have your business set up legitimately and correctly. No one can come along and take it. No one can come along and like mimic your idea, mimic your name, and then sell that. They're buying into your brand strength. So they're the most important things to get started with. And I would strongly suggest that you work with a franchise consultant specifically. And please, 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 please make sure you find someone that has been there and done it, that knows franchise. A standard business consultant or coach is not going to know how to franchise a business. It is a very unique market. It's very unique offering. And there are so many sharks out there. There are so many people that just want to take your money and say they can do it, and then they'll ask AI to get it done for you. You need someone that knows what they're doing, because that franchise agreement is the most important thing that you will pay for. Now, a franchise coach or consultant cannot do your legal agreement. It has to be a franchise solicitor. They have to be a specialist franchise solicitor. It's very different. So it's very different to buying a business. It's very different to acquiring a going concern, as like a business solicitor would get involved in. Very, very different. A franchise solicitor knows everything they need to know about a franchise agreement, because that is the most important thing for you, because you need to protect yourself, you need to protect your brand, and they also need protection as franchisees. Make sure they've done what they say they're doing. Because if someone hasn't franchised a business or had nothing to do with franchise, how can they teach you how to do it? Trust me, they can't. And the cost is going to be at least 10 grand, at least 10 grand to get your business franchised, as in your model, your operations manual, your FIM, franchise information document. There's lots of information you need. You need to decide on a price. You need to decide on a market. You need to put all of this information together, and you need a consultant to help you with that. We'll give you, maybe even just give you the framework for it so you can fill it in. Depends how you want to do it. You can have it done for you, or you can have it like, you can do it along in a process. But make sure they've done it. All right. Just be really careful. Now, if you are looking to franchise your business, then actually I've put a link where it's like a checklist. It's something myself and Katie have put together so that you can actually work through that checklist and see if you are ready for franchise, and if you are, what you need to do and how you do it. So it's kind of like a step-by-step guide on how to franchise your business. I hope that helps. And yeah, I look forward to seeing you again soon, hopefully with my sidekick in tow.